Act 2, Q line. Donnie. No response. Donnie, it's me. Hey, Buck. How's things?
You okay, Donnie?
Fine.
I was worried about you. You didn't survive the journey.
The what?
But I needed to tell you, you're safe. It's to come out now.
Safe?
And if you want to see the rainbow to end all rainbows, just take a look outside.
Buck, let me get this straight. You're under the impression.
Tell him, Rita. Tell him what?
How long's it been?
3 days, 2 hours, and 10 minutes.
You're doing great. Keep it up. Q line. Buck.
Is that what getting younger does to you?
It's our latest experiment. She's tried everything, for years now to stop smoking.
Yeah, I remember that scary lady with the needle.
And nothing's ever worked.
And tell Trisha to work the front tables.
On her birthday?
Oh, was I supposed to act surprised? Sorry. Oh, well, you tried.
And she fell for it.
Fell for what?
You'll see, Buck. Don't worry.
She'll be photos in a book. And what will we do when she's...
Shh, we'll be fine.
I want to talk to her. Will you?
Sure. Yeah.
What's the secret? Always talk things out? Never go to bed mad? Things like that?
I just follow one simple rule, Buck.
What's that?
Do the opposite of what feels natural. When Rita and I hit a rough patch and I want nothing more than to just fold my arms, sit there and sulk, I make myself say something, anything, and whatever I really want to scream and yell, I shut up. Works every time.
I'll keep that in mind.
Something you want to tell me, Buck?
Where do you want this?
Do you have something to report?
I don't know what you're...
Come on, Buck. Now's the time. You're not getting any older. Did you meet someone?
Sort of.
Sort of?
I met this dog.
That doesn't count, Buck.
Couple weeks before the flood. Big, lovable mutt of a dog.
I'm not asking about animals. I thought maybe you...
I was in my yard working on my store fence.
You're still at it with that fence?
Donnie, and the dog looks up and looking up, and there Donnie's standing there.
He pauses.
Buck, is this woman? So I bought some meat.
Some?
Donnie, and I got her number.
You took the tag off her dog.
What would you have done?
But according to you, I should do the opposite of that. No, listen.
But it's not the opposite of calling her, not calling her, or is it calling her and not saying what I want to say?
Buck, wait.
I'm new at this, Donnie. I think she's the woman I want to grow young with.
Call her up, Buck.
Really?
And tell her everything. I'm trusting
you on this, Donnie.
If you're certain about it, do it now while you can, because in time the most certain things fade away.
This used to be your office, didn't it?
Yes.
And your landscapes were always based on the formations of stars. Is that true?
It's true.
But why, Donnie?
There was a time when I wanted nothing more than to be transported to another world. She's folding up the stuff. Are you going somewhere?
You caught me.
Well?
I'm not going anywhere, Donnie. We are.
Rita, what are you...
Decide where you want to go.
It's not time for a honeymoon, Rita. We've still got years together.
Maybe we should act like we don't.
What are you saying?
A honeymoon is the last act of a marriage. It's a culmination, Donnie.
Yes, I know that, but...
Maybe that's how we need a little practice honeymoon. A practice honeymoon. A trip to look at our lives before we get any younger.
Rita.
We've got to get you out of this house.
I know what you're doing, Rita.
Do you?
And I'm too mad to kiss you. There's nothing to say, Rita. Fine, well, just so I'll say something. There's a movie we saw together, and in it, don't change the sub. I'm not. And in this movie, an astronaut is walking in space, all alone, tethered to the spacecraft by a single lifeline. And there's a mix-up of some kind, and his tether is released. And he begins floating away, possibly far away, into nothingness. Pause. He turns to her. When I worked, Rita, I would lose days. I would be transported to the landscape I was imagining. There was a secret of my success, and at first it was delicious, floating outside my life, suspended in a world of my own devising. But in time, Rita, I could not get back. Days and weeks would disappear as I made lines on the paper in front of me, but try as I might, I could not break its hold over me. I could not get back to my life. I'd call that inspiration, Donnie. It felt like death. And I didn't have the courage to face it. Wish I did. Sometimes I wish I could never sever that cord and just let go. For I can tell the job is yours, Donnie. Isn't that great? Yes, it is, Donnie. I gave it up, Louise. You know that. But that's not the perfect project. It's smaller than the one you abandoned. I didn't. That's why I gave them your name. And after they saw the roof, everyone agreed that you'd be... How did you get those designs? I saved them. As many as I could grab on the day you decided to purge your office. You had no right to show them those. Donnie, at least you can consider... How can you say that after what I just told you? We're supposed to feel bad for you, is that it? Donnie, but your application for empathy has been denied. I pulled strings. I lobbied hard to get you on that committee. Well, you wasted your time, all right? I don't want your help. He steps towards her, speaks with a clear, sharp edge. You lost your nerve. You're selected to be the first to full crisis of faith. You must feel special. Donnie glares at Louise, but says nothing. Remember, Donnie, what you love about me is that I'm direct. Donnie looks at her, then exits. Long silence, the two women just stand in the room. Finally, Louise. Cue line. And unlike the things we never did, the things we abandoned haunt us forever. Donnie enters and stands in the doorway. Louise. They both turn at him expectantly. Yes? Trisha's looking for you. Louise stares at Donnie, looks back to Rita. Donnie remains near the door. I'll walk you down. The ring of his cell phone is heard. Louise stares at Donnie as she removes it from her pocket, hands it out in front of her. What'll it be, Donnie? Withdraw my name. I mean it. She tosses him the ringing phone. Do it yourself. Donnie looks down at the ringing phone, then back up at Rita as the shaft of light isolates Buck in the separate downstage area. She carries a long copper tube sealed on edge. Can I help you? If you promise to act surprised, it's a deal. What, are you having a party up here? I'm sworn to secrecy. What's that? Angel got me a poster for my birthday. Of what? Space. I see. Hey, Dad. Whatever happened to my recliner? Your what? My reclining chair, the one that I had when I was old. I thought you and Mom were going to store it down here for me. I'm afraid it's long gone, Trish. But I love that chair. I think we took it to the dump. No way. Maybe we can get you another one at a yard sale or something. But I love that chair. I had to sit back and imagine all the things I was going to do when I get younger. And have you done them? A few of them, but it was fun to pretend. Where do you think we'll go on your honeymoon? Oh, I don't know. Your mom's got a lot of maps. Well, don't go where Shim and I went. I thought you drove up the coast. Uncle Ed, it wasn't my idea of a honeymoon. Do you miss him? Who? Still can't say his name with a straight face. Sure, I can. Try it. Shim. There. Okay? I said it. Shim, 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 Shim. See? No problem. I miss him every day without fail. But we grow young, we say goodbye. Want to see my poster? Sure. Help me. Donnie nods and holds one side of the poster. Trish rolls the other side out. It's actually an architectural blueprint. Looks down at it with smiles. Donnie just stares at it. Pretty great, huh? Where'd you get this? I told you. Did Louise give you this? No response. Trisha. What's the big deal? You were going to throw it out anyway. That's what Louise said. I don't care what she said. It doesn't. I
like it, okay? And I'm keeping it. What's wrong with that? Don't you?
Doesn't belong to you.
But why can't I?
Listen to me. Some things don't get shared, all right? I'm sorry, but that's the way it is. Louise was not meant to have this, and neither are you. Do you understand? She stares at him, but finally she nods. Thank you.
I'll get rid of it.
Good.
I'll tear it up and throw it away.
Fine.
Would have worked anyway, as drawn. The steps are in the wrong angle coming down the cliffs. The afternoon light, which should be one in favor, tear me up. What are you waiting for? It's not worth saving. You said so yourself.
She approaches the table and reaches for the blueprint, saying,
You want me to do it?
His voice stops her, is quiet and firm and focused. A man slowly, carefully trying to retrace a road in his life. In the summer, when the sun is high, you're right. The angle is not ideal, and that's intentional to let the light instead reflect from the sheer face of these rocks here. He shows her on the blueprints. And here, keeping the main pathway partially shaded, and thus more comfortable in the summer heat.
And in the winter?
He looks at her, then he looks back at the blueprint, speaks with quiet pride. In the winter, it's perfect.
Celsius.
Looking at the blueprint. But to do this work, Trisha, I would have to leave. I would have to get go of my life.
Identical in every way, or so it seemed.
What was different?
People got older.
What do you mean?
On this planet, time went backwards, and so as the days went by, people did not grow young, they grew old.
That's impossible.
To our minds, yes, but we live in a tiny corner of space sheltered from such mysteries.
But in a world like that, how would you know how much life you had left?
You wouldn't. There was no countdown. You could reach a random number of years and it's over. You're gone.
I can't imagine that.
It's weird, I know. And you go on your honeymoon at the beginning of your marriage.
When you hardly know each other?
And you do not choose your parents, you inherit them. And they watch you grow bigger instead of smaller. And then often they die before you do.
Just can't twist my mind around that way.
Takes practice. Don't be mad at Louise for getting me this.
I won't.
Can I have it back?
No. Remember, you promised to act surprised. Okay. A place with all will forever from the day on be your place. Where did you and Shin go? A devilish smile. We came up here. Don't tell Mom and Dad. Donnie's voice is heard from off. Coming up. Buck, just another minute. Almost ready. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Surprise! Dessert, finally. Not yet.
Dessert, finally. Not yet.
The moment is now here. Are you ready?
Ready.
Ritual number 1.
You know, Donnie, I never really did like the taste of beer.
Give it time. It'll grow on you.
Cheers!
Till Louise enters sleep.
To her sleep.
To her sleep. Uh-huh. What now? Ritual number 3. And what's that? The speech. Speech! Well,
thank you for the party. It was a complete surprise.
Yeah, right.
Sing your life, no matter what else. Take it and sing it.
She finished her speech looking directly at Donnie. He looks at her, moved, and nods. Silence for a long moment, then Danny says quietly, Happy birthday, Trisha.
Happy birthday! I'm in heaven.
Rita, wait. Rita stops. Louise, leaning over the pie, shoots Johnny a look.
This better be good.
They're here. Pierce said this isn't the party. The real party is downstairs. Surprise! Donnie, come on. I'll be right there. We get your studio up again. Donnie lifts a photo album identical to Act 1. From out of his case, the music from downstairs fade away. What's this?
Just some old pictures. God, who were those people? Hey, Donnie.
Hmm?
Do you wish I was still old? Look at me, how white my hair was.
It was gorgeous.
And my face. All my best lines are gone now.
You're still lovely, Rita.
Even now I'm young? What made you change your mind?
You did. All of you did.
You should tell Louise the answer is yes, that you'll accept the project.
They never offered it. When I spoke to them, they said they had changed of heart. They decided to go with someone older, someone with a fresh outlook, someone who could finish what he started.
I'm sorry.
You were right, Rita. It's time to start over. It's time to go on our honeymoon.
A practice one, you mean?
No, a true one, a culmination.
And then?
And then I'll do as you asked. I'll return to work.
Alone? That's not what I asked, Donnie. I didn't ask for you to leave.
I won't stay in this house like a ghost, Rita. I won't do that to you and Tricia.
But you'll what? You'll abandon us like you did your work? You'll really think that's the answer?
You want it made simple, Rita, but it's...
No, I don't. I want to make it difficult. I want it to be impossible for you to leave.
Rita.
Don't tell Trish. Not tonight.
I won't. Will you walk down with me?
No.
What should I tell them?
Tell them I'm having a cigarette.
Rita.
What is it you want? You want my blessing? Well, I won't give you that. I have plans to be mad at you for a long time.
What I want, Rita, is to take this trip, the trip you planned for us, and maybe, as we travel, we'll find the words.